But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Let's read this one more time. 1 Peter 2 verse 9. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, of people for its own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Boys and girls, we have been introduced to Barbados, to Bermuda, and today we welcome you to the Bahamas. The Bahamian Islands form an archipelago country. That means that it is made up of hundreds of islands. Bahamas is made up of 700 of these islands, and it has 400,000 people from all over the world who live there.
I think people are drawn to the Bahamas because of the natural beauty, the gorgeous water, and the people. You come here to slow down.
Our guests on today's program live in the Bahamas. You know them very well. Jason, Karina, and now baby Paris. Yes, they spent some time with Pentap Kids.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi Karina.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here with us today on Pentap Kids. I know you have quite a lot of things to do, so we appreciate you taking the time just to be with us this evening. And Paris also. This time has been so crazy, and I know you're experiencing the same thing at home with a new baby and so on. So we want to congratulate you on your new baby. Paris is so beautiful, even though we haven't had the chance to meet her yet. So welcome to you and Paris. Of course, Jason as well to join us tonight. Karina, you had quite the experience with soccer. You started playing really young.
Thank you, Jocelyn, and thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm so excited to be here with you and see your faces. Can I get a wave? Can everybody wave? Yay! I started soccer when I was 11 years old, which was a little later than some people. A lot of kids start earlier. But I grew up in the Caribbean, in a small country of Dominica, and girls didn't play sports then, which was a little crazy. So when I moved to Canada, I was 8, and then I was shy. People didn't really understand my thick accent. So I got invited at a sleepover to play soccer at age 11, and that's when I became more confident and more certain of who I was. So I started around age 11, Jocelyn, to answer your question. And once I started to play soccer, I loved it forever. And we even have Paris playing soccer now.
Karina, not only did you celebrate a big day back in March, you know, your daughter was also born this year, and that must have been quite the experience. So can you take us through that journey?
Well, we had Paris in March, and I just want to say, because there's a lot of kids on this line, like, you guys are the most special things in this world. I hope you know that, because kids are gifts to parents, and you're loved by your parents, and your parents want to protect you, because we had Paris, and we're actually in the Bahamas. Who knows where the Bahamas is? Put your hand up. Yeah? Okay, so it's in the Caribbean. So we were here, but COVID hit, and it was the beginning of COVID. So we had her. It was a bit of a difficult time, to say the best, but we got through it. And you know what got us through it was our faith in God, knowing that God had our back. I had lots of conversations with God because, you know, when sometimes you feel alone. Have you ever felt alone? Hey kids, you ever felt alone in life? Yeah? Maybe it's something that happened in school or something that happened at home and you think it just wasn't fair. You pray to God, right? Yeah? Shake your head if you pray to God when it's tough. So I prayed to God when it was super tough. And you know what God did? He took care of me, right? Who believes God will always take care of us? Hands up? Yes!
Thank you for sharing all that with us. Now, you've played soccer for a very long time and you decided to retire. And how much have you actually missed being out on the field, your teammates, just the excitement of being on a team and so on?
I miss it because I miss, the thing is you play soccer and you always think it's about the wins and losses, but what I miss the most is my teammates and my friends and the memories of playing and training and working hard and having the goal. So I miss playing all the time, but to be honest with you, you know, when one thing ends, sometimes a new thing begins and it's even better. So, you know, I mean, I have Paris now, and Jason too. So who here has a big dream? Tell me. Yeah? Big dreams? Put up your hand. Big dreams? Yeah? Oh, even pastors, big dreams. So let me ask you a question. If you have a big dream, do you think it's gonna be hard to accomplish your big dream? Yeah? Or is it gonna be easy? No, it's not gonna be easy. Do you think you have to work hard? Yeah? Do you think you're gonna have people who tell you can't do it? Yeah? Do you listen to them? No, you can't listen to them. Who do you listen to? God? Do you listen to your parents? Yeah? Do you listen to your brothers and sisters when they're being positive? Yeah? Do you listen to your friends who are encouraging you and telling you how amazing you are? Yeah. And what happens if you fall down and you feel like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me? What do you do? Pray to God, yes. If things don't go your way, don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged because you have greatness in you. You have God in you. So you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. Perfect. I promise you that. I thought having her was, but it's been difficult. But you know what? God has my back. When you go to school this year, do you think you're going to get perfect grades every single test? Well, you should. You should study. You should study. But you know what? If you don't, just work harder. You think if kids look at you and they make fun, or if you're on the soccer field and things don't go perfect, it's okay. You want to know why? Because you're God great. Great, this is our song. I am God great. I am God great. I am God great. I am God great.
God great. Jason, this one's for you, okay?
Oh no, no one told me I was born.
One of your greatest dreams was being a father.
Yeah.
And this year that dream came true. What's that been like for you?
It's changed our relationship for the better. It's changed my relationship with God for the better. It's brought me closer to my Creator for sure, because seeing a child of your creation, you can't help but have your faith in God restored or increased by magnitude. It's a miracle. The miracle of life is just something that I'm in awe of. It's incredible.
And now it is time for our audience to come right in, and then you can speak to Karina and she will try to answer your question. All right, so who's gonna be first?
Josiah, what's your question?
What was the first award you've ever won?
That's a great question. I'll tell you the first one I remember. How about that one? The one I remember that comes first in my mind. It was the Black Achievement Awards. And it was amazing to me because most of my friends were white. Most of my teammates were white. And so I always felt a little different, right? I looked different, I spoke different. And so when I got this award, it was from the community that I looked like and I spoke like and identified with. And so for me, that was a big award because I was like, it's okay to be different. And you can celebrate being different. And that's the first one I remember because it was like an athletic award for that.
Okay, Pastor's next.
I have a two-part question. I believe that you played some basketball before, and so what caused you to lean more towards soccer than to continue playing basketball? That's one question. Then the next question is, with some of the racial and social unrest that's happening in the States, and a lot of athletes are now taking the lead to make their voices heard in different ways. How have you found this impacting in your own home, being in a relationship that's biracial?
I played basketball before soccer. You should all know that. And that was my first love. But I ended up playing soccer because my friends were playing soccer and they invited me to join them. But I chose soccer because I felt I could have been more successful at it. I felt it was the way for me. And I think some of you, when you continue to play, eventually you're gonna have to maybe choose a sport. And I chose the sport which I felt, again, I wanted to be an Olympian, remember? I was like, I'm gonna be an Olympian. I was vision clear in what I wanted to do. And it was God. God just told me and led me this way. So to the question of how are we dealing, what was the question about race? And so I'll tell you, when I saw that the NBA players had decided not to play, I had a moment of silence because I think we all have our voices and platforms to do things, and that's what the NBA players did. And it's made us ask a lot of questions about each other, challenge it, because Paris is a mixed race baby. So I've told Jason some situations that I've been through as a Black woman, as a Black young girl, that he never would have experienced, and made him realize that, you know what, our daughter may experience that.
Malachi, go right, honey.
So my question was, how many times have you been to the World Cup?
I've been 5 times
As a player.
and then I've been to 7 World Cups just to see. So I've been to a couple men's World Cups and 5 women's World Cups. Theo!
All right, go ahead.
What motivates you the most about your profession as an athlete?
What motivates me? I've said this. I want to live a life where I am being God great. So I want to live a life where I'm being the version of myself and the person that God put me on this earth to be. So I knew as an athlete, I wanted to be the best that I could be. I wanted to be the best in the world at some point, right? And to be the best in the world meant you cut no corners. It meant that you work hard every day. It meant that I knew that if there was distractions that took me away from my goal, I wasn't gonna do it. Because every single day I wanted to be not the great version of the world, I wanted to be God great, which is a different kind of greatness. Do you understand that? Like,
Yeah.
it's not a greatness that you pick up the phone and you see on social media. It's a greatness that you pray on, and it's a greatness that you work hard for, because you know that even when you think the days that are down and you think that's all you've got, you know that there's an extra level there that God wants you to go to.
I think, sports has a very unique ability to bring people together. From different backgrounds, from different races, from different religious backgrounds. Sports is an incredible way of breaking down walls and barriers. And as an athlete, for Karina, what was very important to her, recognizing that sport is a sport, it's just a game. But when you can use that platform to impact change in other people, to start conversations, to have uncomfortable conversations, or to inspire a younger generation, that's when sports is very powerful. Otherwise, it's just a game. But when you can use it for something greater.
Heavy!
How many games have you won?
How many games have I won? I have no idea. Isn't that sad? Because you know what, Hezzy? Like, at your age, it's important to win. But as you get older, it's like when you get to practice, you start counting. But eventually you realize that you gotta have fun, right? And it's about the memories.
Hi, Karina. My name is Leonardo, and I'm Noe.
Hi.
Hi. What did you come across when you became a professional soccer player?
A lot of things. Well, first of all, it's your job. So it was very competitive, but it was how I earned a living. So the super cool things is I got to travel and see the world. I got to meet amazing people. I got to play in big stadiums. I got to play soccer, which I loved. I got to do some really cool things. I mean, I met like Messi. I met some Ronaldinho. I met some of the big names. I met LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. You know, a lot of the big names people. And that's what happens when you become a professional athlete, is athletes kind of hang out together. But it was also hard. It's every single day you had to work hard. Every single day you had to be the best in your game. Every single day, if things didn't go well, you know, there was consequences. So it's a very competitive job, but it was such a great job. But I think I learned a lot about myself in that time and lessons I take forward in life. Does that answer your question?
Yes. My question is, what would you tell the athletes that are out there who have to make the decision between professional sports or their education?
Ooh, that's a great question. I did education first. I chose not to go straight to professional. I chose to go to university and get my degree, because the thing is, you can get injured at any time. You can get injured at any time, and your whole life changes. And I think education is the most important thing you can have, because you can always fall back in education. You can't always fall back in the sport. And that means taking care of your education now. Like when you're in middle school, in high school, in elementary school, I had to make sure my grades were still good the whole time. My parents didn't allow me to play soccer until my homework was done. Every day. I know. So I would get my homework done so I could go play.
Okay, so we have the wonderful, sweet Hazel Knight with us, and she has a question. Go ahead.
Hello, Karina, Jason, and Paris. So good to see you guys. My question is kind of it's to what happening today and what we're facing today. And I know for many of the kids, they didn't get a chance to maybe ask the adults, how are we coping in this pandemic? So my question to you and Jason is, how do you cope with COVID, and what are some of the things that you're doing to stay safe?
So, great question, Hazel. Thank you. COVID, I think, has been hard on everybody, no matter what age you are. we've had our tough days, as is everyone, but we try to stay positive. We try to speak with people who make us feel good. We try to surround ourselves with the right people. We go outside.
Well, surround ourselves from a distance.
Yeah. We haven't seen, we're in Bahamas and it's still in pretty much lockdown. So we honestly, Paris has only seen maybe 5 human beings in her lifetime. In person. And 2 are doctors, apart from us. Because we don't know enough. And especially with what I've been through and my heart still not being back to normal, we can't risk it. But, so this is how she thinks human beings are, is through the camera. Like, she's never actually been held by anybody apart from us or our doctor. But how we're coping with it is that we accept that some days are hard and we talk about it and we communicate a lot. So she's ready for bed and she needs me to feed her, of course. We accept that all people deal with things differently, so we don't judge people. Some people are going through some tough times. We help people out when we can, because when you help others, that helps you feel better, which is, I guess, it's a different way of looking at it. And we do a lot of praying, but we're here, we spend a lot of time, we do active things together, so we go for walks together, jogs together to keep our mind right, because I think that's important.
Well, I think a big part of it is taking a longer term view, knowing that we've been through this in the past. We will get through it. We will in time, life will go back to some sense of normalcy. But in the interim, how do we get through that time? And I've never been a very good one at reaching out to people, often enough. But I found myself I make a point now to reach out to people that I care about, they come into my mind. I'll text Pastor on a Sunday, just say, I'm thinking about you, good luck today. Keep in contact with those you love. But also, we start our day now with a moment of gratitude, where we're praying, but just being thankful for all we have. Not focusing on what we don't have. Not focusing on the fact that our family's not here to visit, that we haven't seen anyone in months that's close to us. Focus on what we're grateful for. We have a healthy daughter, we have a wonderful marriage, we have a wonderful support group. We have the ability to quarantine away from the world in a sense, and still survive. So focusing on what we're grateful for and putting that at the forefront of our day.
We have, I think, our last question for the day is coming from Dio once again. He had his hand up. So Dio Gama, go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, this question is for both of you. Because I know you guys played professional soccer, And my question was, when did you guys decide it was time to retire?
The luxury of deciding. My career ended through injury, unexpectedly and very fast. That was a pretty big test in my life for me, is going from living a dream, knowing what you're doing day in, day out, lived and breathed it. From the moment I could think about what I want to do with my life, it was to be a soccer player. And having it gone at 21 was, very abruptly, that's something that took a lot to overcome that. But we don't always choose when things happen in life.
And then I retired after my 5th World Cup at home. Played my last game in Vancouver. Sold out crowd. Millions of people watching on TV. And for me, it was time, because when I first started to play, my first national team game, there was 8 people in the stands and 5 of them were my family members. And so I got to watch the game grow. And there comes a point where, for me, I always wanted to do things of impact. And I felt it was time to almost pass the baton on, and allow that space for other young women to experience the dream that I had, but it was also time for me to move on and do other things. And so it wasn't injury that ended my career. It was a hard decision, trust me. Very hard, because a lot of athletes go till they have nothing left in them. But I wanted to walk away when it was my decision and I could play. And it wasn't because I wasn't good enough. It wasn't because of an injury. I wanted to go on to a new challenge. I love challenges, not too many, but I love challenges, and I was like, what is my next challenge? And what is the next thing that God has for me to do here on this earth, other than, kick a soccer ball?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I am over the moon with what has happened, what I've heard here. And thank you, all of you who have asked questions. Thank you, all of you who logged on, took the time. Thank you, parents. I know at the beginning it was a little bit difficult. We had some logging on issues, but wow, you stood the course, and we have heard and learned some incredible, very potent, very needed pieces of information today.
We will be back to Vancouver one day, and we will all get a big hug. You guys will get to meet Paris, and you'll get to tell her how crazy her parents are. But most importantly, my message: dream crazy big. Work hard. Believe in yourself. Never let anyone tell you you can't do anything. And remember, you are God great. You are God great.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Now it's time to recap.
1 Peter 2 verse 9. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation of people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
You're home. What are you doing with your time?
Online Sunday School is the place to be. Come learn about the Savior who died for you and me.